Opening statement and energy shift. People don't walk away from you because you're wrong. Thoughtful. They walk away because your presence shows them truths they're not ready to face. Short pause. Whenever you enter a room, the energy shifts. Not into admiration, but into discomfort. Not because you're loud, but because you're real. And in a world full of filters and fake smiles, being real is rare, and even shocking. Confident. You're not dramatic, you're just powerful. Calm. You've done the inner work. You've built a peace that nothing can shake. Thoughtful. With that kind of energy, you don't need to talk much. Your aura speaks for you. This is the Stoic way. Calm, steady, and rooted in who you are. And the more you embrace this energy, the more you'll see, long pause, who's really ready to stand beside you. Aster subscribe, CTA. Casual. If this speaks to you, hit subscribe. No pressure, just appreciation. Determined. Now let's dive into why your aura shakes rooms. Without even saying a word. Presence over performance. The power of real presence. Most people enter rooms to get attention. But when you walk in, the room gives it to you automatically. Not because you're loud or showy, but because your energy feels solid, real, and grounded. It's like you're not looking for anyone's approval, because you've already found it inside yourself. And that alone breaks the normal flow. Conversations pause when you arrive. Not from fear, but because your presence carries weight. You bring peace, not noise. And in a world that rewards loud performances, your quiet power makes people uncomfortable. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." When you choose stillness instead of reacting, people get confused. They wonder why you don't engage. But that's where your strength is. You don't need to fill silence with words. You've mastered the inner world. That's where real power begins. Carl Jung, he who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakens. People feel that awakening when you enter the room. The discomfort of authenticity. When your calm challenges others, you've learned something powerful. Other people's discomfort is not your problem. If someone feels uneasy around you, it doesn't mean you're too much. It just means they're not used to someone so calm, clear, and real. Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Your presence makes people look at parts of themselves they've been ignoring. Most people are drawn to what they're familiar with, even if it's toxic or chaotic. So when you show up, calm and confident, it creates contrast. And that contrast wakes them up. Self-mastery. You've gained emotional control. You don't let the room shape you. You shape the room. Aristotle said, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." You know your values. You know when to speak and when to stay silent. That's how your aura stays strong. Not every fight is yours. Not every spotlight is meant for you. And that discipline, it's rare. The mirror effect. Your presence is a mirror. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And now that you've found that freedom, you no longer need to explain yourself or your silence. Just by being, you become a mirror for others. You reflect back to them what they haven't dealt with yet. Not everyone can handle that, and that's okay. You weren't made to fit in everywhere. You're made for the rooms that match your energy. Stay grounded, Let your silence speak. Your strength is already visible. You don't have to prove anything. True Conversation, 541 to 925. The rarity of truth. Most people say they want honesty, but they're scared when they actually hear it. Even if you speak the truth gently, it can hurt someone who's been running from it. You don't play the game. You don't smile just to keep the peace. You don't talk just to pass time. You speak from your heart, and when something is wrong, you call it out. Not because you don't care, but because you care enough not to lie. Plato said, "No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth." When you speak truth, not just in words but in presence, people are forced to face the truth inside them. We live in a surface-level world, full of filters and fakery. But you weren't made to fake it. You weren't made to say yes while your soul screams no. Carl Jung said, "People will do anything, no matter how ridiculous, just to avoid facing their soul." Your honesty stings because it lights up the places others keep hidden. The courage of truth. In Stoic thought, honesty is not just a value, it's a duty. Epictetus said, "If you want to grow, be ready to be seen as foolish." Being honest may not win you popularity today, but it builds trust tomorrow. You don't need everyone's love, you just need the respect of the right ones. Truth causes tension, and that tension leads to growth. Aristotle said, "Courage is the first human virtue because it makes all others possible." That includes the courage to speak truth, to be the voice that doesn't stay silent. Inner knowing. Understanding without words. Some things aren't learned by what people say. They're revealed by what people hide. Your mind is tuned differently. You've sharpened your instincts through life, pain, and silence. Carl Jung. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life, and you'll call it fate. You've seen your shadow. You've seen others too. You know what's behind the curtain. The gift of deep perception. Socrates believed self-awareness is the beginning of all knowledge. Once your inner world is clear, it starts to show in how you carry yourself. You start seeing people's wounds, patterns, and energy. They feel seen, maybe too seen. And most people aren't ready for that. It exposes the lies they've built. When you see past the act, the performance, the mask, their illusion starts to crack. And when your inner voice speaks, listen to it. That's your compass, sharpened through silence, solitude, and deep perception. Magnetic presence. The pull of real energy. Some people light up a room with noise. You do it with your presence. There's something in you that pulls people in without effort. They want to understand it. They might even want to borrow it. But what they don't expect is your mirror effect. Being close to you isn't just comforting. It's confronting. You don't fake it. You don't follow the social script. You stay real, grounded, true. And that's exactly what your aura reflects. Close to subscribe button and hit the bell icon for the next part. Coming soon.